Alright, today we're going to do a upgrading and fixing of this G&G. Most of the gearboxes are the same for most of the models that Dark Earth Airsoft members have, so hopefully this will help you guys in the long run. I'm going to clear my bench and then I'm going to get to helping. Alright, we'll begin the disassembly process. I'm hoping that this is focusing on the gun and not on me. Right, so the first thing we need is a small toolkit. It's probably a good idea to stay away from power tools unless you have a very good set with variable limits like a Hitachi or just a good brand, just to avoid when you're doing the screwing in the gearbox any damage. So you first take apart this. On a G&G most of these have the little latch there, pull that off. Now this exposes the hop-up unit, the barrel, and that's about it. Pretty simple, put that aside. Right. Oh. Right, so I'll put this in the camera and just see if I can't get this to focus. Focus. No, you're not going to focus. Okay. That's annoying. Nope. Okay, so what you can't see here is a crack. So I'm just going to pull my phone up and show you guys. So last time this was taken apart, it didn't seat together properly by the looks of things, which will cause issues. The cylinder should be able to twist inside, but it's not going to now. Nevertheless, we will carry on and pop out this pin. Now take note, you can see on the side of the pin right there little grooves. This pin has to come this way, so your mag release, right, just remember this pin has to go through that other way, through that way, okay? So to start taking apart the gearbox, let's make sure I'm in the right place. I might try and move my camera and make that easier for you guys. Sorry about this, I'm still trying to figure out how to do these videos the best way possible. Right, let's stop that from moving anywhere. Cool. I'll grab my toolkit and grab a very small one. Right, grab this battery, prop that up, and I will need something to, oh yeah, the 1911's full of, oh no, can of spaghetti, that'll do, rations, and then pop that there. Didn't in my can of spaghetti, how rude. Have I got that the wrong way? No, haven't. This is not my gun, so I'm just trying to be a little bit more careful than I normally would be. As I do that. Okay, so as you can see on this very blurry image, alright, that's not going to focus. Sad. Alright. So that's why you want to go one way with it, not two ways. Alright, the other side. Now with this, we will put this over here, out of the way. Next one, so you put this other pin here, the fake bolt body pin. Doesn't really do anything on this gun. Put that together over there. Now with this one here in the front, this pin, it has a lock on it so it doesn't come out at all. So don't be too concerned if that doesn't come out. Right. Now, G&G does things a bit different than other companies, so we've got a hex. We'll take this screw out. Oh. Anyway. There we go. Now when you're putting this back together, don't be too concerned about this is all symmetrical, as you can see on your own gun hopefully. That side. Do not lose the spring, otherwise you will not be able to eject your mags. Nothing will stay in. Catch. Alright, almost there. So down in your pistol grip there's two screws, there's one on either side, and they're usually a diagonal pattern. Well, they should be a diagonal pattern. Holds your pistol grip on, so I'll move my can of spaghetti and my battery and grab a Phillips. I'm pretty sure it's what G&G is still using. That one should do the trick. That's the PH1, although I can't get it to focus on that. Alright. Pull these wires gently out of the way. And find the screw. Oh, that's tight. There we go. You can feel it twist, and it didn't come out. So luckily the gearbox is coming out, so we're not too concerned with the screw not coming out straight away. And like I said earlier, it's always better to have hand driven screw instead of a power screw, power driver, my bad. So that you can feel when things are getting tight and loose, that way you don't strip the body of the gearbox and such. And that one's out. And oh, don't lose those screws. Put everything back together. It's a very nice pistol grip from G&G. I like that one. Okay, so we've got all the screws, the bolts that we need out. The reversal latch stays in there by the looks. My guns don't usually have that. I use an ICS. Slightly different system, but I quite like it. Now I take off the stock. Obviously your stock might be different, depending on what you have. Okay. Now, on pretty much all AR style airsoft guns, there is a can't do that either. A Phillips head screw that goes about that far. Okay, it holds the spring guide in place in the gearbox, and holds the buffer tube on. So I'll go ahead and pull that out. It requires well, generally, this is all general speaking because different guns do different things, but it requires a slightly larger Phillips head. Gently pull the wires out of the way. Without wires, you don't have a gun. We have a very unreliable gun. Now, as far as I'm aware, this is one of the newer model SXL guns, and I'm not even screwing it up. It has a MOSFET in it, so the chipboard and all that for your burst fire control unit. It's a really handy thing to have. I'm just going to take this off the camera for a second, just so I can see where that screw is. So the MOSFETs help you not burn out your trigger assemblies or your trigger switches. Oh, we are struggling with this. So as long as it will go. Alright, we'll pull one of these out. Right, that's not going to work. Right. So it's taking me a bit longer than it usually does. I will speed this part of the video up for you. I think one of the best things to do is not get angry that you can't get it straight away. The moment you get flustered or upset about not being able to get it, you will screw something up. And the amount of guns that I've screwed up because I didn't take a break when I needed to, definitely I've got it, so it's spinning nicely. Yeah, the amount of guns that I've screwed up, sorry Justin, playing around with not having a proper time. And you can hear that clicking over, so uh-oh. How much? Alright, sorry about that. I don't know how much you guys missed of that. The camera decided that it was done playing for the time being. Right, so this is going to come gently out of the buffer tube, or at least it should. Okay. I have a feeling I'm going to have to disconnect these wires, so because this gun has a MOSFET attached to it, there's a lot more wiring in the back. Didn't quite think that through, but that is okay. We will survive somehow. What a funny design. Why wouldn't you make this so the whole thing can come out? Giving a bit of a decent tug and it's not coming. Okay, where's my pliers? And hopefully I don't screw this up. Nope, she is not. There we are. Bit of healthy persuasion there. If need be, I will be able to do the rest of the upgrading like this, but that would be very unfortunate. looks to me like this has been taken apart already. That's very it's quite stippled, so to speak. How do I get around this hurdle? Boo. My laugh sounds ridiculous a lot of the time. Sorry about this on the camera. Just readjusting it. Now, I find this to be a very funny design. Oh, where's the... There's no screw here. There's supposed to be a spring guide screw that goes... dummy. I just explained it. Don't worry, this is the spring guide holder. Right. It's actually going to be quite difficult to put back together if it's like this. I'll take it apart to be fair. I am going to go off camera for a second and find my tweezers. Okay, so like that. Now what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get the wires through as much as I possibly can so that I can figure out a way, if there is one, to take this completely apart. Oh yeah, okay. I think I see the way they've done it. So there's a black cable that runs along the top of this. And this is really out of focus, isn't it? That's really annoying. How do you focus this thing? Like this. Okay, okay. Plastic shielding needs to come off just a little bit so I can get this plug out without ruining the wires. This is funny, I had a Raider 2.0 with a similar MOSFET in it and it didn't have this problem at all. It was actually quite well designed. So it's funny that G&G would go ahead and do this. Don't really want to cut anything. Like I said, it's not my gun. Get rid of this. Cable tie, if I'm able to. Put that out. So now that's free. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So there's your MOSFET stuff. Take that out. Take your sling mount away and gently pull this out. Sorted. Now we can get onto the gearbox. Now, like I said in the previous cut of this video, is something kind of went wrong last time this was put together. As you can see, the seal is gone, so this isn't manufacturing spec. Yours, if it's brand new, won't look like that. Right, so you've you can see on your one there's screws everywhere. Just go ahead and gently kick the camera, because you know that's how we do it. Now with this one on the way out, I'm going to use my power drill just to make things a little faster, being that it is probably now 9 o'clock at night and it is very cold out here in my workshop. Now you'll find that on the G&G gearboxes, the lower 4 screws are going to be quite long in comparison to the top ones, so that's how you know where to put which one. I'll put those up there so I differentiate them from other screws. Cool. Oh, no, too early. So that was premature. Cool, that's the top one, or bottom one. I might leave this video long form just so that you guys can see absolutely everything that I've done here. Make sure we're still recording. Okay, now's the tricky part. If you screw this up, you kind of stuff your gun, to be fair, because you've got the spring with a large amount of FPS or pressure behind it, because it's obviously a compressed spring which gives you the FPS, and yeah, if it doesn't go well when you're taking it apart, you'll lose everything. It will shoot out the back. So what you want to do, you don't want to go from the front. Do not touch this area. So you're going to get your hex or Phillips, something that fits in the back of the screw. I prefer to use the hex shaped, so it goes straight in, it doesn't bite in at all. Push down slightly so you can release the pressure. Right, yep, I'll go this way. So just wiggle it gently until the spring guide comes a little bit loose. Then you want to let it come out very controlled. That way there's no pressure in the gearbox anymore, you don't lose anything, and life continues to be great. Because we all know how we feel when our guns don't work after all this is done. Okay. Now the next thing, you want to have it facing, this screw hole's facing the other way for this, because it's all kind of laid one way. You'll find that out if you try your own. Take the spring out, so that's your M90 or under sub 300 spring. One shot of the gearbox. It's not a whole lot of lube in here, so we'll look at helping them with that. Spring and your piston. Very basic stuff. Eventually what's going to happen with your upgraded spring is that these teeth on the piston here, I don't know if you can see that, it's stopped. Cool, now that this is all done with the gearbox, it's all open, everything's safe, nothing flew away. We're going to go ahead and open our non-sponsored package by ASGC and find out if they sent us the right springs. They're usually pretty good with their service. Obviously if you're in Tauranga watching this, the paintball shop is probably the easiest place to go. They have fantastic service, they're always very kind, they'll get guns in that you want. They're not sponsoring this video either, just pointing in the right direction. I need a knife of some sort. So, alright, cool. So we've just unpackaged the springs. ASGC did in fact send us the correct springs. We'll just handed these two are going in the other two guns of the owner. This one, however, is getting the 120M spring, which is actually quite a nice spring. That's what the ICS guns, well, I think it came with it. Decent range, good accuracy out of the spring. Well, decent range, the accuracy has nothing to do with the spring. So what I was talking about earlier is, you can see on this piston, very blurry, is metal here, polymer here. So with the 120, I mean this will last you quite some time, but it will chip into the back and break out. But I have one of these lying around, so I'll chuck it in, no worries. Hopefully give you a bit more longevity. Now while I was off camera, I noticed that this little O-ring was on this head until I pulled the original piston apart, which is this one. And I was a little bit baffled because it doesn't usually come like that. It had too much of a gap with the spacing. You can see hopefully there-ish. That's what the piston should look like. It has holes, the air gets compressed in it, pushes out quite hard. I realised this spacer has come off the cylinder head. The gun will still work fine, but you'll probably just lose a little bit of compression, that's all. Obviously this was slamming on the face of the cylinder head often, and this was jammed on, so it's still going to work. But I'm not going to put this back in. I just don't think, I don't have any adhesive that'll work efficiently for that. So that's something we can do at a later date. It was easy enough to take the gun apart, so. Anyways, we will continue on. Right, so you get your piston, slip it back, rotate the gears. That's definitely a good start. Move the anti-reversal latch, which is this one down here if you can see it. Make sure that the piston lines up good. It's going to slide well once everything's in place. Okay, now not everyone agrees with me on this, but I use a little bit of heavy duty ball bearing grease, not very much, very small amount in the gun on the piston, just so it runs smooth for a long time. Obviously it's made for a car, just wipe it on there and a little bit on the top. Okay, hopefully you've seen me do that. Slip that in there. Keep rotating that piston right around, hopefully. Move that out of the way. Cool, nothing's obstructing that. It will still go. Wipe the oil off my hands a little bit. Now what I'm going to do about this little crack there, I don't know if there's a lot I can do about that without pulling the entire assembly apart, which I don't really want to do tonight. As it would turn out, I keep lying to you. Right, so here we are trying to fix this. What I had done, I'll try and make this super clear. So you take this lever out of the gear, and we're looking at this thing. So when I put it all back together, this was sitting like that, which if you grab this gear, it won't let you do it with the spring attached. It'll jam, which is annoying. So what you want to do is have the spring sorted out, which is quite fiddly to do with one hand, to be fair. Put that in like that into the correct hole. Now when this has its spring on, this will stop it from going in reverse. So now if you spin it the correct way, the don't kick the camera. You can see the gears wanting to connect the piston. And what this lever does is when the motor's running high torque, sometimes it can try and reverse, so it would push your piston forward instead of backwards, which would obviously be an issue. So I'm going to fix this and then put the whole gun back together, give it a test fire, because I figure, it's late enough already, so why not finish the job. And I will see you guys when it is done. Right, so what I've noticed as well, I can't give you a close-up on this right now, I don't think, because... oh yeah, that might do. So it's actually been pinched on two places in the wiring down here. I'm not going to tape it over, because tape is just going to bulk it out, and it's going to become a bit more of an issue later down the road. But you will end up having shorts in this. So you'll probably need a wiring harness again. Those are about $20 or $30. It's not too bad, and easy enough to take the gun apart, so we can do that. Now, on to putting the gun back together with the new piston and the new spring. So this is the spring. Where are we at here? So pop that there. We pop it in right there. Yeah, so you can see already that 120 spring has a lot more tension in it, tension in your shoulders, than the 90. The next thing to do here is to close the gun, making sure that everything matches up. I'm sorry if I'm in your way, I'm just going to get this right. Make sure that nothing is being pinched. Right, so we've got one down here that's been a problem, and I will just stick a very small tool in there and push the anti-reversal lever. And no, something else is giving us an issue. Oh, the spring itself, dummy. Yeah, okay, cool. Cool, sorry about that, being very choppy. My SD card ran out of room. I had a lot of photos on it that I didn't realise. Okay, so this is the more tricky part of this entire operation, because you've got to get the spring in, but you've also got to line up all the pins in the right holes in one go. So I'm going to crouch down a bit, hopefully I can get this right. I'm not in your way, so I'd like you to be able to see this. Okay. Right, so most of that made it in. Yep, just like I thought it might. The anti-reversal latch has got in the way. Let's make sure that I'm, yep, start recording. Right, so the trigger is there. Anti-reversal latch needs to come back. There we go, sorted. So putting a bit of pressure on the gearbox because I don't want it to fly apart, because the spring has a lot of tension on it. Now you can see, maybe you can't see it. This is so frustrating. Don't know why that's not focusing. Let's bring that back. No. Okay. This is sealed completely now, so you'll get better compression. Your air nozzles bouncing back good and fine. I'll bring that right out again. Okay, very carefully we're going to hold it, rotate it right around, and grab my trusty dusty Phillips. And my power drill. I'm sorry about the noise of the power drill. I hope it's not too frustrating to listen to. How am I going to do this? Trust me, I'm professional. Okay, right. So I'll bring my trusty dusty can of spaghetti, place them all in the holes. Now at this point my wife is sleeping in the room directly in front of where I'm standing. She's not been well, so test firing this gun may or may not be a good idea, but we will see. Now, like I said, only use a drill if you are competent with one on the lowest setting possible. Okay, now just like a car tyre, just go from left to right, making sure nothing's snagging. Okay, now we're tight. Oh, okay. So your entire gearbox shell has bowed out. Cool, that was too far, just like I said. You should know what you're doing. I'm going to try and tighten the top of the gearbox fairly tight to try and get the gearbox to move in, but more than likely I'm not going to be able to do it. Cool. Oh, that worked. See? I mean, yeah, I meant to do that. I meant to do that. That's really the truth of what is going on here. Nice and gently. Cool. Okay. So unfortunately I don't have the right connectors, so I'm going to jimmy up something. Jury rig, as we used to say. Start with the non-power end first. Just shove that down there nice and tight. And this one. Cool. Now the top one here is red, so that will go into the DENS connection. bottom one is negative. So right, so I had to end the video. It got super late, so I just chucked it all back together. The gun works perfect as it should. Oh hey son. If you have any questions about what I've done or how to do your own gun, let me know. I'm happy to chat with you and even help you out if you need be. But thank you for watching. I hope it helped you, and we'll catch you next time.